Vast ahoy and g'day once again to ye mateys! I be Josh the Pirate. This be me lovely little dog Siri, it is, and me lovely lady wife, the Mother of Bunnies, Keren. Who the absolute heck are you?
Hi, I am Keren, the Mother of Bunnies. I am a writer, a performer, an internet addict. You can follow me on Twitter, where I share bunny pictures and rant about stuff. Or you can follow my burlesque alter ego over on Instagram at Miss Lola Moore. I think my next thing is Miss Burlesque competition in June. I'm not scared, you're scared.
Your mum's scared.
Or you can listen to my dulcet tones on the D&D podcast, There Be Dragons, where I play the terrifying Dragonborn warrior, Merlin Westfall.
Splendid.
Siri, you want to introduce yourself?
Yes. Hello, I am Siri. I am small dog. I have had many walks today. It has been a nice day. I am 2.5 years old and a good snuggle buddy.
And if she eats grapes, she
has
clear out a room.
the worst gas I've ever smelled from a dog.
It's quite impressive.
And that's saying something, because I used to have a Labrador. Hey, MVCDM, how are you, mate? I am very excited for, it's not tomorrow, it's the day after tomorrow, because that's the other thing we're doing this week. It's Jasper's Game Week!
Nice.
That week we have all been waiting for. Keren will be playing
tomorrow.
Tomorrow morning.
Tomorrow morning.
9 a.m.
10 a.m. It's only 2 hours, I checked.
Okay, good, good.
It is 10 a.m. Australian Western Standard Time, which is 12 noon Australian Eastern Standard Time.
Yes.
Which would be GMT plus 6. GMT plus 8. Or 10 o'clock.
Yeah.
Oh, basically, it's just after 7 o'clock here.
No, it's GMT plus 12, I think. It's the other way. GMT plus 10, rather. Cause it's
okay. I don't do time zones. It's 10 o'clock here, and it is currently 7 p.m. here. So in 15 hours, I will be playing a Jasper's Game Day. We're doing Kids on Bikes.
With NBCDM.
Oh, yes. Of course we are. Hello. Yeah. I am playing a laid-back slacker.
Oh, cool. Awesome. And then I will be playing with the MVCDM in the MVCDM's chair, presumably. And I believe we're playing a D&D game. And I'm going to be playing a character that I actually modeled on you.
Do I want to know more about this character?
Valor, the Rogue Wizard cross.
Oh.
I was trying to build Keren in what Keren really is.
And you came up with a Rogue
Wizard cross.
I'm very law-abiding, thank you very much.
I didn't say she was a thief. She's a mastermind, actually.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's cool then.
Yeah.
I am very smart.
I was told what the story would be or what the game would be about, and I was like, actually, Valor would fit quite well. Let's do that. I like making just characters. Like a lot of D&D players, I just like making characters. And the D&D Beyond character extension, when you have the subscription, you can make as many as you freaking want. So I did.
Endless characters.
So I have loads that I've never used or played.
Whereas if I'm backed into a corner, I auto-generate a character sheet and take it from there.
Yeah. So Valor Silverware will be appearing in NBCDM's game on Wednesday. That's the middle session.
But you're on 3 times.
Yeah, so... I'm doing Wednesday, Friday, and Saturday. I get to do a morning, afternoon, and an evening session throughout that as well. I get the whole spread. I'm DMing on Friday morning. I'm DMing on Thursday evening here. I'm playing D&D. I'm having a look at RPGs here tomorrow night for Tactics Tuesday. I'm going to be streaming at least once a day for the next 6 days. I'm not scared. You're scared. I'm
so glad we were both sick last week, and we're just going into this just hale and healthy, and definitely not still tired and a bit shaky.
Last year, I mean, it's an improvement on last year, because last year's Jasper's Game Week, I had COVID.
Oh shit, we did.
I straight up had COVID. Pretty confident I don't have it this year.
Well,
the week is but young.
All the tests were negative, so you hope it wasn't.
I anticipate the game coming across something like beginning, chaos, end. Yeah, I think that's probably about right. My game on Friday is actually going to be I'm rather excited. I quite enjoy doing this for charity events. I have a one-shot in my Humblewood world, and I've done it 3 times now, and this will be the 3rd. And so we are doing a backstory episode because I happen to have one of my regular players, Jack, will be playing in the game anyway. So we are going to play Jack's character Smoothie's granddad, Biggin, and we're going to do a backstory episode about Biggin, which is canon in the world, which is going to be really fun.
Given what I know about how, like, that folk in your world name their creatures, the name Biggin is amazing because he's
going to be
the
freaking
mama
huge.
bat gave birth.
Yeah.
And she's
And it
just lying
ruined her.
drained on the birthing bed. Just like, oh god!
Like a half squeezed out
God.
toothpaste.
And the midwife is like, wow, that's a big one.
And we'll keep that name. Yes.
Yeah.
Hey, Fajuk. Hey, Absalom Dak. Fajuk just gifted Absalom Dak. What's up, you bloody champion?
Thank you.
Fajuk, thank you so much, you excellent individual. And congratulations, Absalom Dak. Enjoy your wonderful
Enjoy your
emotes.
and the knowledge that that money goes to paying for us to retrieve the data of the hard drive. that crashed
Yes.
recently.
Yes. Well, I was going to wait until after Jasper's to do our own fundraising
Yes.
thing.
Pay the
But
nice,
we are going
nice
to be
computer guys to get our
we
data
will be
back.
doing a fundraising event to see if we can't rustle up a little bit of cash to help pay for the restoration of Josh's Humblewood notes, among other things, because I've had
Whole
to sort
bunch
of
my show
rebuild
footage.
that. Yes, there's a lot.
Yeah.
Like, none of it was mission critical, but it was a blow.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
a half-finished novel, for example, that I haven't looked at in 2 years. But, you know,
You might get round to it.
I might get around to
Break
it.
all your legs, have some spare time.
Yeah, if I have to, and inevitably I probably will have to have a full double knee reconstruction.
Oh, they're only doing one at a time, don't you? You do it as they're doing one at a time.
Okay. So a year off my feet. Great, because apparently they take about 6 months to recover from a knee reconstruction. I was like, fucking okay. I'm glad I have a fairly sedentary job. Anyway, today
Fun time.
we are going to be doing another Josh and Keren review. Whee!
Yay!
And this one actually rhymes because we're going to do Let's Play Parley.
I think you mean parlay.
Parley.
The-
Damn to the depths whoever invented Parley.
Snip, pass,
Parsley, parley.
pane.
Parley.
Parlay! That's the one. Parlay!
Yeah, we're going to be doing that. That'll be the French. Yes, DM.
Venice.
Sorry?
If you watch the gag reel,
Oh.
it's like, that would be the French.
Ventus of
And it's like,
Mayonnaise.
Mendes of mayonnaise. And then everyone loses their shit. You know, back
yeah.
when he wasn't phoning it in.
Yeah. Yeah, back when it wasn't just who he was. Now.
Back when Johnny Depp acted. Those were
And
the
but in
days.
terms of Canley, ooh,
Ooh.
Absalom Dak. The
Should
terms
I
of
move?
Canley have been obeyed. Canley is essentially Parley, but it's Dune.
Oh, right. Personally, I think that if you want to
Yeah.
negotiate parlay with anyone, you should be required to come with a sprig of parsley.
And a parsnip.
Yes.
All right, so
Instead of the white flag, you got a parsnip on a stick, just like.
let's do this wonderful transition. Bloop. There we are. Splendid. All right. So this is a good one as well. This is one I looked at last week on Tactics Tuesday.
Ah.
This is it's Parley without the diplomacy. Yeah, it's basically I issue my order, my demands, and then the other person says yay or nay.
Nah, fuck. It just deteriorates into nah, fuck you, nah, fuck you, nah, fuck
Hey,
you.
get crisp and crunch. Yeah, it was actually mentioned in the old film that I really love.
Oh.
Yeah, yeah.
The one with Patrick Stewart with long hair.
Yeah, and it's when Peter de Vries goes to the Baron Harkonnen and he says,
Canley.
Yes, I have your message here from Duke Leto. He does not wish to speak to or communicate with you in any way. I've made my peace gesture. The forms of Canley have been obeyed. It's the only reason I know it because I haven't read any of the books. Well, I have, but I haven't read the ones that are about Dune, as in when the Messiah's around. I've read the prequel stuff about the Machine War.
I think I tried to read the Dune books a long time ago. I think I was still a teenager and I didn't get into it, so I need to try again at some point. Curious Grudge, I keep seeing an S after the R.
Parsley.
Whenever we're just saying that, you know, if you want to negotiate terms of surrender, you got to wave your bunch of parsley or your parsnip. I have a message from
Duke Leto. He has said one word: nuts. Oh, that's such a good reference as well. Well, it's not Deez nuts. That was the Battle of the Bulge. That was the American general.
Oh yes.
That was Bastogne. That was
the little bits of Battle of Brothers I've watched. Coming in handy.
Yeah. To the German commander. Nuts. Very Merry Christmas. I think it was the same commander who said, "Now we've got them right where we want them. We can shoot in every direction now." Because they were surrounded.
That's one way to look at it, I suppose.
Yeah. So can't retreat now. I'm like, yeah, you idiots. Now we don't have to look where we're firing. Da! When you were still firing single-shot rifles. But there we go.
You can put the machine gun on like
On
a
a
spinny
swivel.
thing and just go boing and duck. I'd be terrible.
Some very good intertextuality today, guys. Well done.
All the references. That's
Because I'm pretty sure he didn't spell it nuts with a Z. So,
if it was to happen again today, he would have sent Deez nuts.
Deez nuts.
Deez nuts.
Suck it. But it wasn't like suck the nuts. It was like, no, nuts to you, sir. After years of battle, you've been told to parley with your enemy. I have to pronounce it that way. Parley. Parley with your enemy in a neutral village. What you see and your interactions with your enemy will decide if there will be a peace or more war. This story is based on the Second Guess system by William Lentz. You will need a writing device and something to write on, as well as a D20, using my fancy stone ones, and a D6, which is the hardest to get out, because it's a nice, pretty little case. But the square hole that the D6 fits into means the D6 is really hard to get out again. But there we go.
Yeah, I love it when something delicate's in like a padded case to take care of, but it's so hard to get out that every time you get it out, there's a great risk you're just going to fling it across.
Because whilst these are stone and therefore should be fairly durable, they shatter. As I learned when I was fiddling with the D4 before I ever even rolled it, and I inadvertently dropped it on the tile floor, and it chipped. I managed, because it's stone, to glue it back together, but...
Also, Tiger's Eye's layers.
Yeah, there's that. I didn't split along the layers, though.
Well, that's just dumb.
Just rude.
Anyway.
So,
The game is divided into a series of turns known as moments. At the start of each turn, roll a d20 and consult the chart. The twist occurs when you rolled a prompt more than once. Here, you must reveal either more details about your previous answer or another occurrence of it. A piece tracker might increase or decrease with certain prompts. You can keep track using tokens or hash marks. After 5 twists, roll the d6 and compare it against the piece tracker. If you roll over the number, you have learned too much, seen too much, and can't bring yourself to do more than call the parley off for war. If you roll under the number, you have learned enough, seen enough, and can emphasize with your enemy and are able to broker peace with them. Either way, use the twist as a breaking point and write how you come to your conclusion. If you meet the number, continue rolling for prompts, rolling the d6 with each twist. Your peace tracker starts at 0.
And some of these things will do +1 piece, and some will do 1 - 1 piece. And that's it. That's other than the chart and Lucky Newt Games production and the credits. That's it.
That is so simple and beautiful.
Isn't
I
it?
love it.
Can you see immediately why I was drawn to it? I was just like, fucking this. This is the shit, gents. Yeah, no. It was a real sad. It was really sad because the first one I remember was like, this was a well thought out system. It's like 25 pages. Someone put an awful lot of effort and work into it, and then I got this one. I'm like, this, yes.
It's 1 page.
It's 1 page. I could whip it up in an afternoon. Yeah. But like I've got to imagine there was more thought put into it than I'm giving credit for.
Oh, absolutely.
But, yeah. So.
And like honestly, they could have like made the font a little bigger.
Well, this is it, and again, it's very much feels like they were trying to fit it on one page.
But what a great one to like take to like like to play with someone. You just take your single page.
Yeah, and it's designed as a solo game, but you can obviously, as we are play it in groups. So, what was I going to say? My big thing is that I think it needs some narrative prompts for setting more than anything else, because like you meet in a neutral village, but
Oh, surprise dog!
haha.
Like I knew she was there, obviously, but
Do you want to sit on me instead, or is Mummy's lap more comfy? Mummy
she's
has
not
the wider
moving,
lap.
so
Is Mummy's lap bigger than mine?
probably definitely more padded.
Yeah.
Thighs for days. Anyway,
That's what I love. That's what I'm up for. Little baby. You're like a good girl. Yeah, you're very good.
we never baby talked our old dog, really.
No.
Mm.
We always were like, we weren't Mummy and Daddy to Ty.
No, he was our dog.
It was
Baby.
my dog as well. Like,
Yeah.
he wasn't really your dog when we got him. Kind of was by the end.
He
but...
was, but I liked it because I wasn't a dog person, and I used to say it like Ty just kind of
Wormed his
slowly
way into
wormed
your
his
heart.
way into my heart, and then he left, and I was devastated.
He didn't leave.
Well, he
There was
died.
no choice in it in his matter.
No, he died, and I was distraught.
So I would say first I want setting.
Okay, so where are we?
Given that we've talked about Dune a lot, I like sci-fi setting.
Should we be on a
Desert planet.
desert planet?
Arrakis. Dune.
Not Arrakis.
Not Arrakis. Arrakis?
We're in the planet.
Nuts.
Yes, the desert planet.
Nuts.
Arrakis nuts.
Not Tatooine.
Desert planet.
No peaceful negotiations have ever happened on Tatooine. Mars.
Neurotic nuts with a Z.
Neurotic nuts. Okay.
But we have met on the shore, a village on the shore of a vast saltwater lake. Perhaps?
Yeah. Yeah. Sure. And like things like, what's the war about? Like, I imagine a lot of these questions sort of Lake Deez. Yeah.
We
Yeah.
meet in a village on the shores of Salt Lake Deez.
Maracus. Yeah. And who are the people fighting? Like, that seems to be the other logical.
Maybe they're fighting for herbs. The secret herbs. Yes? No? Maybe if you're drunk?
Coconuts. Resources. Yeah, I think just general unspecified resources. Not necessarily. If it's a desert, nuts probably not, you know?
The great desert nut has hallucinogenic properties.
Salt.
Maybe it's for control of Lake Deez.
Yeah.
Hmm?
It's a major trade route.
Ooh, yes.
Yeah. So it's not a huge war. They're trying to unionize. Hey, Lost Archives is raiding.
Oh, welcome.
Ahoy, mateys. How are ye? Raid. Favorite raid emotes up in chat, guys. Thank you so much for joining us, you lovely individuals. Hello. Owen, you bloody champion. How are ye? What? Another one?
I think
Fajuk, you bloody champion. Fajuk. I'm just trying to think, what present can we give Fajuk to say thank you for the lovely subs?
maybe Fajuk would like to name the village on the shore of Lake Deez.
Yeah, Fajuk.
On the planet Narakis Nuts.
Narakis? Can it just be Narakis? I think Narakis nuts is silly. Can it just be Narakis? And then we have
Died.
the Lake Deez, referencing the funny jokes that have been made in chat. Fajuk, yeah, shout out. I'm looking for some names for the sides, the combatants. I think, like, who is the war between?
Yes. The Nutcrackers. I can't. really shouldn't be allowed out. I was helping high school students with drama monologues.
Oh yeah, how was that?
Yeah, it was good. And I was doing that thing where I was trying not to swear in front of them, and then I realized 2 out of the 3 of those who I'd worked monologues I was working on both had swearing in them. So I was like, well, sod it. You're literally going to be saying fuck in front of me, so why should I censor myself?
Exactly. The Duke may just be keeping his nose down. The Nomads and against the city dwellers. Yeah, I think that does sound legit. Let's just leave it at that, and then if we want, we can come up with a name later, or if the Duke has a good idea.
Versus
those who live in the cities. The merchants.
Ooh, maybe they have like desert ships as well.
Yeah.
So obviously they have normal boats that go on the lake.
Yeah.
And then they have like sand boats.
That's called camels. Ships of the desert.
Camels. Yeah, cool.
Or what do you call an angry carrot? A steamed veggie.
Maybe it's a special type of sled pulled by camels.
Yeah, or those wind-powered sculptures that walk along beaches?
Oh, I love those. Yeah.
Maybe it's like that.
Yeah.
Someone has developed this sort of independently mobile. Like it's like a horse that doesn't need to eat, essentially. Yeah.
As long as there's a breeze
and it's
keep
big,
trundling.
So you can almost sail it across the desert.
That'd be so cool.
Hmm.
The Unionists versus the Cartellii.
I like Cartellini.
Oh, because of the writers' strike in the US, I'm now aware that there's a woman involved. I can't remember what union she's from, but she has like a Jimmy Hoffa tattoo on her arm, which is just so great. Oh.
All right.
Make Netflix pay, writers. I believe in you.
Yeah. It's the dumbest thing because
it's already, like the strike has already cost them more money than the writers are asking for. It's so wild. I'm like, so it's purely principle for you guys now.
Yeah. But it's also the dumbest thing because you don't need a director. You really don't. And I say this as someone with a master's degree in film directing. It's literally my skill set. And yet, the director is the last thing you need when you're making a production. You need a producer and a writer. And if the producer fancies himself a writer, you don't really even need one. But I tell you what, it is very obvious when you have a thing that is written by someone who is not a writer.
Oh, I learned one of the things they're kind of cross about. And I'm just like, yeah, it was a non-creative person who came up with this dumb idea. Basically, they do what they call mini writers' rooms, where to develop like a series of a TV show, they'll put some writers in a room together for a week, and let them, work out what the show's going to be about and everything. And then they send them off to individually write episodes for the show. And I'm like, but how are you supposed to, communicate about what's happening in your episode compared to someone else? And apparently that's why there's series where it feels really disjointed and there'll be a plot thread in one episode that's never mentioned again because the writers never got to meet up and talk after that first week.
I mean, because we did it. We did one. We were part of writing of a 6 or 8 episode web series.
Yeah, and we had to every week we had to.
But we kept coming back and chatting.
Yeah.
And everybody read everybody else's episodes. And some of them were shit and could not be argued out of it.
But yeah, and I'm just like, yeah, you wonder why it doesn't flow nicely when you can't get the people together to actually talk about things.
Oh, they say the writer, but it can be 50 plus people and 10 or more different rewrites.
Basically, with films, the credit, whether you get credited, depends on what percentage of the script is attributed to you. I think if you wrote more than a third of the script, then you have to be credited as a writer. But if you only wrote 5 pages of a 100-page script, they're not going to credit you because you didn't do enough.
Oh, so Duke is just here vibing. Don't mind the Pajuk in the corner. Well, I will try not to then, my friend.
Pay no attention for the Pajuk behind the curtain. Anyway, back to the actual thing. I could talk about weird.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly. And often showrunners are writers as well.
Well, yeah, absolutely. I mean, Joss Whedon has writing credits on so many things that you would not like. Did you know Joss Whedon was the final writer on Waterworld? They brought him in to fix it because it was an absolute nightmare in every stage of production. It was the most expensive movie ever made at the time, which is partially why it was a flop.
Because it was never going to make money.
Because it was never going to make money. But yeah, everybody lived on rafts for like 6 months. It was ridiculous.
Like, hell.
And they shipped him out there to fix the script because it didn't make any sense. And in fairness, it still doesn't. But, like, he did his level best. But, it's, like, the thing is, Absalom Dak, I was raised by a merchant naval captain. I learned to sail when I was 6. I love being on the water. My element is water, very much so. And, yeah, I consider it a day wasted if I have not been fully submerged at some point. And the premise of it was like all of my yes, and then the execution was like, oh, for fuck's sake, couldn't you have done a better job? Couldn't you have found someone better than Kevin Costner? The fact that they made 3 of the Trimarines and 2 of them were destroyed in the filming actually causes me physical pain. But it does mean that there is still one that I could acquire at some point. It's sort of multi-millionaire dreams, but
yeah, most billionaires buy yachts. You would buy the
I would buy the
boat
Trimaran from Waterworld. Or, honestly, if I was a billionaire, I'd have one made that was better, but did something similar. What movie were we talking about? Waterworld.
Waterworld. Nothing's free in Waterworld. Some real quality writing.
Yeah.
Anyway, back to what we're meant to be doing. We have created our world.
Yeah. All right, shall we?
To recap, we find ourselves on the desert planet Arrakis. We meet in a village on the shore of Lake Deez. We fight for control of Lake Deez, which is used for much trade. The desert nomads are on one side, the city folk are on the other.
Yeah.
And now, we parley.
The, what was the name I saw? The Cartellini are on the other.
Cartellii.
Quite like that.
Versus the city folk, aka...
This is an ancient movie from the 20th century. Yep.
Ah, yeah. It's like when you reference Austin Powers and remember the first one came out in 1990.
The thing is, and we were talking about this last night, it's important to remember that it's a film of its time as well. It's like watching Armageddon, when that was scary. And, like, because I've been listening to Star Wars audiobooks recently. While I've been feeling shitty, I've been playing Warhammer Total War and binge listening to Star Wars novels. But I've been listening to the new canon because I was always a massive fan of the old canon, which Disney was like, no! When they decided they wanted to make 3 more movies. So all of the books written post-Disney acquisition do not fit into the canon of all of the books, and there were hundreds written before the acquisition. So that is all essentially not canon anymore. It's now called Legends. But I've been reading a Legends book when I haven't been playing video games and listening to a modern canon book whilst playing the video games, and with very similar content. They're both about a starfighter squadron, but different starfighter squadrons, and the tone is radically different. And they're both just things of their era, things of their time, because yeah, the book I read, Keren, just a half page of it, and it was a funny excerpt that didn't mean anything, that didn't matter. It was just a joke about a 3PO droid and Chewbacca, and it was objectively funny piece of dialogue. And the modern book does not contain any at all. It is dark, grim, and depressing. It does, however, feature several homosexual relationships. I'm like, this was clearly written in the 20-teens. You wouldn't have written this 40 years ago because, every single every single relationship displayed in the book, and there are loads in the old one, are all hetero. It can even be interracial. A human and an alien doesn't matter, but they're all hetero.
Two people the same sex.
Which Legends book? For Duke Enterprises, I am reading the X-Wing saga. I've just picked up, I'm rereading again and again and again. I love the X-Wing saga. I'm reading 5, 6, 7. I'm just in the process of reading 7 now. Solo Command. About the fight against Warlord Zishinj. It's so good. It's just my very much my vibes. I always loved the X-Wing starfighters and things like that. It's all about Rogue Squadron and Wedge Antilles.
Okay. No more questions about Star Wars, and we'll never play Parley.
Fajook and I are like exactly the same person. We have all of the same hobbies.
That's wonderful. Let's be playing Parley.
Yeah, let's play Parley.
Parley.
Okay. In which case, can we have Fajook? Would you roll a D20 in chat? Exclamation mark! Roll space the number 20. And somebody else, can I get a D6 as well? And this will be our first roll. That's the one. 14.
14.
The enemy brings wagons in to help the villagers. What's in them? How does it help? +1 piece. Ooh. And a D6. A 2. And then...
Okay, so you can roll, scroll back up. At the start of each turn, roll a d20 and consult the chart. The twist occurs when you roll a prompt more than once. Here you must reveal more details of another occurrence of it. A piece tracker might increase it up to 5 twists. Oh, okay. So we only roll the d6 after we've done 5 twists. And we haven't done 5 twists yet. So...
Oh, really? No. I thought some of them were like, was it good or not? Well, we've got a 2. I might not keep that one. My bad. All right, a 14. So what did the enemy bring to help the villagers?
Well, are we the Cartellii or the Desert Nomads?
I think we're the Nomads.
Yeah, cool. So what do the Cartellii bring to the village?
I reckon, like, food for a feast.
Bring wagons of food into the village.
Also to, like, hey, thanks for letting us have this, but also just show us up.
Yeah.
Like, these guys didn't bring anything.
To show gratitude and to display their wealth.
But it also sort of undercuts them a bit because they're like, look how rich we already are. I'm like, there, so you don't need any more. And they're like, ah, damn it.
So that gives us +1 piece. So our peace score is now
+1. Nice.
Okay, and that's it, I think.
Crisp and Crunch is just water as well. All right. Crisp and Crunch, do you want to roll a D20, please? It actually might be useful to roll a d6 as well every time because it'll break the thing likes to roll the same number more than once a lot.
But by the way, the dog has now decided to lay herself down half off my lap and half over Josh's arm.
Super uncomfortable.
It doesn't look comfy.
She's actually got her like jugular against my wrist.
Using her ass as a
Alright, I'm gonna roll it. A 15!
15.
Thank goodness. And Crisp and Crunch got a 10. All right.
We'll do the 10 first.
15 first.
15 first and then 10. Okay, 15.
At this point, do you truly want peace? Or would you rather have an excuse for war with your enemy?
Ooh.
I don't think we need the 6, Crisp and Crunch, unless you just... Yeah, I think it's just to clear the memory. Oh. Yeah, good idea.
Do we truly want
I don't know. I think we do.
Yeah? But we suspect the Cartellii.
Yeah.
Peace, but we don't trust the Cartellii.
Yeah.
Which is fitting, really. You should never trust the Cartellii.
The Cartellii. Oh, sweetie. Are you comfy there? She's got one paw up on the desk. She's just holding on. And her head is resting on my hand, which is resting on the mouse.
The convoluted thing.
They need the merchant's tech. The merchants need the cart's food. Alright,
next we had 10.
Okay, number 10. You intercept intelligence from your enemy only to learn that it's a personal letter. There's something in it that you can relate to. What is it? +1 piece.
Ooh.
Hell yeah. Okay. Low latency. Okay.
No.
I can relate to that.
We open the letter and it just says nuts. Or it's like a heartfelt letter from like the romantic partner of one of the people in the group saying, I know that you struggle to trust that these guys are going to do right by you.
Yeah.
But I urge you to make peace so we may be wed. P.S. Bring nuts.
Yeah, it's a dick pic. Yeah, I reckon like we're not barbarians. We are in the future. So yeah, I reckon it's email. But yeah, I think so. I think that's exactly what happens. I think we have, yeah, and we're like, we actually had to leave our partner behind too. Yeah, that's Sorry, we shouldn't have been spying on you. Here's your letter.
Also, she's hot.
Yeah.
You got any
And it's got a massive dick. Look.
There's this amazing comedy sketch I saw, which was like exchanging like nudes in like Regency time, and so he sends her the letter saying. She sends him a letter saying, I couldn't stop thinking about you after we met at the ball, and please write back to me so we maybe become better acquainted or something. And he sends back this handwritten note that says, send nudes. So she sends back a sketch of her ankle. And he's like, oh my word. And then he gets like his manservant to just like, I must send something in response. And the manservant drawing picture after picture of this guy's junk, and him just saying, no, not good enough, not good enough. And him just in ever outlandish poses, and the poor manservant down there sketching furiously. And eventually he's like, that one's perfect, we'll send that one. So they send the sketch of the junk to the lady, and she opens it up and then gasps, calls her maid opener, who looks and also goes, oh, and then they both burst out laughing.
See you for Duke. I hope this didn't.
That wasn't why you're leaving, I'm sorry. Yes, it was very funny. So yes, to try and make peace so they can be wed.
All right. Absalom Dak, can we get a D20 in chat, please?
Can be wed.
Yeah.
P.S. Get nuts.
These nuts. Bring nuts.
Oh, that's right. It was bring
Would you
nuts.
pick up pecans, please?
Bring nuts. I'm out of pecans. How many Deez nuts will we work into this? Which is amusing given the original reference is not two Deez nuts at all. Just my brain. What
do you overhear the villagers saying about you and your enemy?
What did you roll?
I rolled a 12.
Ooh.
What do you overhear the villagers saying about you and your enemy? What about the Parley?
Well, we definitely overhear them being super grateful about the wagons of food.
Yeah. I reckon the villagers want... Oh, thank you. I had
She was just kind of like
I have a mark.
worming her way across like a caterpillar.
There we go.
Oh, I can feel my legs
better.
again.
That's way better.
I'm very grateful.
They're definitely more I think at the moment the villagers are like way more grateful to the enemy than to us. And they're a bit put upon that they have to host this.
Yeah, they're not stoked that they're the middle ground.
Yeah.
They want it over sooner rather than later.
They want... Possibly that they want their independence. They don't want to be controlled by either faction.
Well, I don't think it would be so much about control, it would be about who they'd be trading with more. Do they want to trade more with the Cartellii, or do they want to trade more with the Nomads? And we didn't bring them food.
And we didn't bring them presents, yeah. Or our presents were less,
We bought them water.
Well, yeah,
But not a lot. Like, we bought them some fresh water.
yeah.
One bottle? Cheers.
Well, this is the thing, yeah, but I was like, but for us, that's a lot, like, we live in the desert.
To us, this is incredibly
We
valuable.
brought a massive barrel, and it was like, yeah, and they brought, like, food. I'm like, yeah, well, that's easy to come across where they're from.
Yeah, they just don't think we're as generous.
Yeah.
So they're like not outright rooting for the Cartellii, but
yeah,
it probably is much of a muchness to them who wins.
Yeah.
But obviously they don't want war, so they're like, please come to an agreement. Cool.
Also, we're more like technically proficient. I think like
Hmm.
a lot of our goods wouldn't be ours is skills rather than goods.
Yeah. You bought fermented camel milk. Oh God! Oh no, that would smell so bad.
No, it's booze.
Ugh. But still,
Yeah,
fermented milk of any kind.
it's cheese.
Yeah, but cheese smells good.
Can
Sour
do.
milk does not. Turns out the villagers don't like camel milk.
Weird. Which is why it's fermented. We've been
Like,
giving them so many of us.
made
Like,
it.
why does no one want
Made
this?
it to booze. They're like, it's still disgusting. I'm
It's
sorry.
actually worse now. All right, let's try again. Ooh, a 3.
3.
What is the village like that the parley takes place in? What are the people like? Okay. So there's a little bit of world building in
It
this
is,
as well.
yeah. What is the village like? Lactose intolerant.
Well, because this is actually this would be true. They would be lactose intolerant because you can't really raise cattle on the edge of a.
Yeah, they're in a desert. They're on the edge of a salt lake.
They don't.
I imagine they have some sort of complicated system to turn the
They've
salt water
probably
into
got
fresh water.
desalination, there would be fish in the salt lake,
Yeah.
so they can feed themselves. But water is hard to come by. They don't do crops a lot. It's all sort of desert palms and dates and things like.
I imagine they'd have like a limited amount of like greenhouses that they.
Yeah. I think a lot of it's underground. In like canyons, in canyon walls. Yeah, this would not be viable without technology, which is why they're interested in continuing trade with us. Lots of fungi, yeah. Well, fungi need moisture. So like in caverns, sure, but we're in a desert. But yeah, you could definitely, in the shade, you could have greenhouses that,
Yeah.
I think the greenhouses are really the only sort of obvious sign of the settlement.
Well, no, if it's a trading port, they'd have to have some sort of stuff set up on the side of the lake.
Oh, yeah. But other than that, like, it's the harbor, and then cliffs, and ravines, and the villages in the cliffs and in the ravines, where it's shadier and cooler. And the only stuff that's easily seen is solar collectors and greenhouses for food.
Cool.
What are its people like?
Resourceful.
Yeah. Yeah, fiercely independent.
Resourceful and independent.
Don't trust outsiders.
They're happy to trade, but this is their town.
Yeah. Jawas.
And I immediately wanted to do a Jawa impersonation, but my brain just blanked on anything a Jawa has ever said.
Well, because they don't speak. They just chitter.
Yeah, I know, but they make.
Yeah.
Udini!
Yeah.
There you go!
Udini!
Which clearly means, look at that race!
Saw a picture once of one of the kids who was playing a Jawa without the hood up. And they just strapped like torches to above his eyes.
One of those things that looks really creepy out of context.
Yeah.
Alright, next.
Alrighty. Can I get another D20 in chat, please? Anybody. We'll probably
Anybody.
need a few. Take them in order.
Hmm.
But if we get doubles, I'm not counting it because I know why.
I have to roll to see if we get peace. We got 2.
Yeah. A 12 and a 17. Thank you very much. We'll do them in order. 17 first. Ooh, that is a double up. That's our first double, because that's 12.
Oh yes, 12.
But we do 17 first. The enemy tears up the peace pact you wrote. Claiming
everything in it is unfair.
something in it is unfair. What is it?
-1 peace. We're down to peace.
Ooh.
Oh shit.
One piece.
We might just be about to declare war. Game's over real soon. Hilarious.
Well, there's a lot before before we're out of peace completely.
Oh, I do apologize. No, we have to get 5 twists and then...
Yeah. And then we roll, and as long as we're over, we want lots of plus peace.
Yes, we do. So what have we proposed that they think is super unfair?
Dunno. It's something that we would think is fair, but they wouldn't.
Basically, I think we are trying to restrict their trade in technology because that's more our thing.
Yeah.
That's not fair.
Fair. No worries, Crisp and Crunch. See you soon. Yeah, I like that. That's cool.
Unfair because we're trying to restrict their trade in technology.
Oh dear. Yes.
Sorry, you might snap me off.
And then 12 was, what do we overhear the villagers saying about you and your enemy? What about the Parley? Do we overhear more?
Yes, because what we overhear last time? They were grateful for the food for the Cartellii. They aren't super chuffed about the negotiations happening in the town, and they consider us less generous.
So, a twist occurs when you roll the same prompt more than once. Here you must reveal either more details about your previous answer or another occurrence of it. I reckon another occurrence of it in this instance.
Yeah, we after this disappointing day of negotiations, we go to find the goss.
I actually think the villagers... I think we overhear that the villagers think it's a bit of a silly thing to be arguing about because they were never going to buy tech from the Cartellii anyway because the Sand people do it better.
Yeah. Meant is silly because...
It's just a bit of a weird... It's just a really silly thing
because everyone
to put
knows the Nomad tech is better!
Yeah. So we don't need to mandate that they don't sell because they won't sell anyway.
Is that going to say plus or minus to anything?
No.
No? Okay, cool.
It's just sort of future-proofing.
Alright.
I'm going to roll. 19!
19.
Do you have any regrets about your enemy being your enemy now? If so, what are they? If not, why not? Like, are we in any way sad that our enemy is our enemy?
I think yes.
Yeah?
Because if we are able to negotiate a peace, it'll make everything work much smoother.
Yeah.
We won't have to worry about getting on each other's nerves so much.
I think our people are very proud. And would not like, we didn't start it, but we did not back down from it. But we're not a warlike people. We don't really have the numbers for a protracted war. And yeah.
We won't back down either.
So do we have any regrets about our enemy being the enemy? Not so much about that enemy specifically. We don't really want any enemies. So the regret is really that, we don't want enemies.
We regret that they have been antagonistic.
Yeah.
Because it wouldn't have happened otherwise. We weren't going to start anything. So.
No. And honestly, the trade was beneficial in both directions, and I think that's actually sort of one of the major stickling points is about the trade of technology. And we hadn't realized before that the city folk think we're trying to tread on their turf, when in fact it's the other way around. We're trying to keep them tech poor. Which is why they thought we were being aggressive. And so this has helped us realize that that was sort of a major cause of the issue. It was said earlier in chat, I can't not build worlds, and yeah. Logic, reasons, the thought process underlying the way the situation is always interesting to me.
Next one.
All right. Do you want to roll? 11.
Next 11.
Started with a single small event. What made your enemy an enemy? Was it worth making them an enemy? No.
Yeah.
I don't think it was. I definitely don't think it was worth it.
Maybe we did something regarding kind of tech for something, and they thought that we kind of cut them out when we were like, no, you didn't have what they needed.
Yeah, I don't think it was this village, but I think a different village. I think the village was like putting out feelers about a new solar energy plant. And they were negotiating with several different parties, and we just showed up and did it. We just showed up and said, look, we did it gratis.
No, never do something for free.
Well, no, but we did it for cost. To demonstrate, like, we'd figured out this new way of doing it. And everybody was being a bit like, oh, but it's new, and oh, we'd rather have... So we showed up and did it, was like, look, we will give you a freebie, a tester, to demonstrate why our way is better. But it was a village that traditionally traded with the Cartellii. And we were doing it partially altruistically, partially but with no intention of undercutting so much as, no, we're one of the people who are bidding on this job. We thought, well, look, why don't we just, it's hard to bid lower than 0, so we'll just do it. And the other village was like, yeah, this is actually great, we love it.
Yeah.
But, like, not free, but for cost, or for a very low...
Yeah, we did it cost as a sign of a goodwill and to demonstrate our skill, and the Cartellii, who were their main traders, were pissed off. We got further work from it.
Yeah. Hey, Robbie Hoodie. Good to see you, mate. Robbie Hoodie, can you roll me a D20 in chat, please? Now that you're here. Good. More people to roll dice. We are playing Parley! Exclamation mark, roll space, the number 20. There you go.
15.
15. We have had almost all the numbers above 10. 15. At this point, do you truly want peace? Oh, it's our second...
Oh, second twist.
At this point, do you truly want peace? Or would you rather have an excuse for more war with your enemy? What was our first answer? Maybe we want to just elaborate on it.
We want peace, but struggle to trust the Cartellii do as well.
Yeah, I would actually elaborate, because I think, going back to what we've already established, we don't view what they say is the start of the war as a good reason for one. Yeah, everybody has a different version of that command. Robbie Hoodie, I copy-pasted mine from roll for damages, but I know loads of people have different ways of doing that one. Yep.
So we think their reasons for war are silly.
Or just it was unnecessary. It was a completely unnecessary overreaction.
Overreaction.
So we do very much still want peace. It feels like they used it as an excuse, though.
Yeah. So it's hard to... We think the reasons for war and overreaction, and it makes it difficult to accept their terms at face value.
Yeah, I'd say so. Yeah, Robbie Hoodie, we are playing Parley for those who have recently joined us. Parley being a solo journaling game, but obviously Keren and I are playing it 2-player because we like that, where you sort of use dice prompts to narrate the passage of a peace agreement, hopefully, between two warring factions. We've thrown in a little bit of extra
Sci-fi flavour.
Sci-fi flavour, yep.
Our parley takes place on the desert planet Narrakis.
Not Rakis.
On the shore of Lake Deez. We are in the lakeside town. I don't think we ended up naming it.
We didn't, no.
Basically, we want control of Lake Deez because that's where a lot of trade goes through. And we are the desert nomads, and we are negotiating with the city folk, aka the Cartellii.
The Cartellii. My wife and I play games like this together. Yeah, it's good. Yeah, so this is a real good one.
A little bonding activity.
Yeah.
All right.
This you can acquire it on EO, on itch rather, and it is 2 whole pages. But it's an excellent 2 pages, and I strongly endorse.
We did another dice roll.
We do. I'm going to do it this time.
Yeah. Your turn.
10. Ooh, this is another of our double ups. Need to roll under 10 at some point.
Yeah, this is our third twist.
Third twist. We get to 5. We have to roll under 1.
We have to roll a 1 or war.
We or more war.
Or there will be war.
War more.
Ooh,
and an 8.
Next.
Thank you, Robbie Hoodie.
All right, so 10. You intercept intelligence from your enemy only to learn it's a personal letter. There's something in it you can relate to. What is it? Okay.
Hey, plus 1 piece. Yay.
2 piece. Last time we got the letter asking their lover to make peace, they could come back and be wed. P.S. Bring nuts.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a lovely concept, isn't it, Robbie Hoodie? I was reading through this one on last Tuesday, on Tactics Tuesday, and immediately I was like, I vibe with this real hard. Yes, all of my vibes. Again, for a really cool world-building story, because a lot of the questions sort of force you to come up with answers to other questions. Well, we need to establish what the fuck that is before we can even answer that question. I could use this easily for building a backstory for a one-shot, where there is a conflict ongoing, and why is it happening, what's going on, and the setting around it. Be very cool, and the prompts are kind of handy for that, but they're general and broad enough that it's applicable to any setting.
Really plonk it wherever you like.
Yes. So what I think we get new intelligence.
New intelligence, all right. But it's personal communication.
Yeah.
Maybe one of them has a sick child?
It's a personal letter. There's something that you can relate to. I think...
Little Timmy's unwell.
Little Johnny. Could build a story that you could use with your cartograph. Absolutely, yeah. I was going to say, their superiors. It's a letter from their superiors, but it's a personal. It's like a "you get this done or else" letter, and there is threatening language in there about their future business. But it's addressed to them personally, like it's a personal letter, not a. It doesn't relate specifically to the. Oh, we've been raided by meeples and dragons. Guys, how was your game? I hope you had an excellent time. Thank you so much for joining us. Hey, Robert Hartley. Hey, Torre Pixel. Mythical Torian. Guys, thank you so much for the raid. Big raid as well. Guys, thank you so much. How are ye, mateys? We are playing a different RPG. They weren't playing D&D either. They were playing Vampire the Masquerade. Keren will be back over on Meeples and Dragons tomorrow morning. How exciting. 10 a.m. our time. It's going to be really fun for some kids on or near bikes. With Matt from Split the Party and the MVC DM and a few other lovely folks. So that's very exciting and cool. Guys, thank you so much for joining us. We are playing Parley. Parley. Parley is a 2-page... Really, 1 page. The second page is notes. It's a 1-page game by Lauren Govednik of Lucky Newt Games. And it's a really cool little thing. Honestly, morning games are going to hurt. Yes, Dragoncore, I agree completely. Because I'm running one on Friday. I went very Somerset there. I'm running one on Friday.
juveniles with non-motorized
Two-wheeler vehicle. Exactly, LEB. Hey, LEB, Antipode and D20. Parley, are there rules or are they just more like guidelines? Well, there are barely any rules because this is the whole thing.
You roll your d20, you follow the prompt.
That's the rules there. The rest of it is prompts, and that's it.
And once you've got the same number 5 times, you have to roll to see if you achieve peace or war.
I'm really excited for Friday's game now because I don't know if you probably haven't. You may have been busy, but I've put in our sort of discussion group that this will be an official Humblewood canon one-shot where we are doing a backstory game about Biggin, Smoothie's granddad, in my Humblewood world, but it's a backstory one-shot, so it's all canon. It's all going to be official to the world, which is going to be really cool. So the players will be creating the 30th through 35th player characters in that world.
Wow.
Yeah. Ivor Biggin. No, his name is Biggin. Biggun. The Terrans have a particular naming convention where basically a child is named based on a physical characteristic. Smoothie had smooth wings. Biggin was just mother-wreckingly huge.
Yeah. His mother never quite recovered from his arrival.
Yeah.
Poor woman.
So, and I'm going to be playing with the wonderful Dragon Core, the splendid Jack Squarepeg, and a few other splendid people as well. Who else have I got?
Just thinking, the absolute injustice of having your lady parts absolutely destroyed by an abnormally large baby. And then you have to carry that sucker around.
Of course, Heath from the Antipode D20. The Knight Geo as well will be joining us. Verse, I believe that's how it's pronounced. I hope it Verse, possibly. Verse, that's probably more likely. And there's one other.
My God, he's hung like a bear. No, Mr. Williams, that's the umbilical cord.
It's a girl. And Fenway the Teen DM. Ah, how fun, how exciting. I'm psyched for it. It's going to be super cool. Lenore. Ooh. I'm excited to learn more about Lenore. Dragoncore's character is going to be called Lenore. Hacking away the character design, but the name is Lenore. Ooh. Okay, love it.
Cool.
Like it. Sweet. Yeah, gonna be fun.
Well, does one of our lovely raiders want to roll for our next prompt?
Please do.
Exclamation mark roll space 20.
Sorry, Antipode and D20. Sorry, Heath. I kept holding all the names in my head is hard. Yes, it will be user.
Josh is in 3 games this week.
I am. Yeah, I'm going to be playing D&D every day for the next 6 days on stream.
So we're not going to really talk much.
Yeah, yeah.
Our longest conversations will be on stream.
Running Call of Cthulhu on a boat tomorrow at 3 p.m. for Jaspers. That sounds like a really dangerous place to have a Calling Cthulhu. So come along, there may be drop bears on a boat. That's going to be fun.
That'll be the game after the one I'm in. So
yes.
I will be awake, but whether I'll be coherent.
Yeah. It's always a cool week. Yeah, guys, exclamation mark roll space 20 in chat. Did anyone pack Vegemite? I hope so. You are rolling to determine the next thing that happens in the story.
A 1.
Dragoncore got a 1. Your enemy does something so atrocious that you're tempted to declare war right there. What is it? -2 peace.
We now have no peace.
Not good. Not good at all. And then Heath got a 20. Got a 6.
Cool. So 1 and then 6. All right. What is the atrocious thing our enemy does?
Crispin Crunch says, "Oh, Josh's portrait on Jasper's schedule looks like it came from a porn catalog." You know this picture as well.
Yeah, it's the slightly smoldery
one.
one.
Yeah, the smoldery one. That was taken by the wonderful John Rousselet. John Steadicam on Instagram. And he was just wanting to play around with his new camera gear.
So you just jumped in and took some photos of you.
I happened to be there to transfer some data from one computer to another.
It's a great picture.
It's dead set. And he took that 5 years ago, I think. And I've been using as my headshots since, because it's just... I don't get to smolder very often, guys.
It's the shirt you're wearing.
I don't disagree. No, absolutely not. Yeah, the shirt, sadly, no longer. It's so faded now. It was just deep red. Now it's just light pink.
The urge to replace like your older comedy t-shirts, but I could just buy you a new one.
It has an Eric Banner Chopper Reed vibe. Okay. Oh, Eric Banner as Chopper Reed? Kind of does.
Hey,
Yeah,
Eric
I pay that.
Banner's a smoke show, so.
Yeah, I'll take it.
And just a reminder, when that movie came out, Eric Banner was like a comedy actor. And then he did Chopper Reed.
Oh, because of the Mo particularly.
Yeah.
The Mo is very pronounced in that. Yeah, I do it slightly differently now. And it's just gotten long enough that I can curl it again.
How very apropos for Parley.
Yeah.
Anyway, we have to decide what the atrocious thing the enemy does.
Yeah. Fun fact, he got the role for Chopper because Chopper loved his parody of him. Hey! That's amazing.
Amazing! Oh my god, it'd be like Alec Baldwin being cast to play Donald Trump. But that would never happen because I believe Trump hated
Trump hates that one. Yeah, it says he has no... Oh, they waste water! Ooh. I reckon they toss our barrel over.
Yeah,
they knock our barrel over.
Mm-mm.
They're mean to small animals.
They throw a barrel of water at a miniature camel.
Miniature camel?
Just a tiny one.
Like 3
I need
feet
a tiny
tall.
one.
Why? Why breed miniature camels?
I heard that he was panicking at the premiere because the actual Mark Reed was there and Eric was really sweating on him like, I can't imagine playing like a terrifying murderous criminal. And then they're at the premiere and he's like,
camel.
It's like, you better have done a good job, Eric, or you know.
Yeah, it's the Paris Hilton of this tribe walking around with a camel and a purse.
We're just ducking between two very different conversations.
He insulted the fermented camel milk.
I like that they smashed.
Yeah, I like the water bottle, the barrel being knocked over. Yeah.
Smash water barrels.
Teacup camel.
See, I'm just seeing Chopper Reeve carrying a teacup camel around now.
In a purse. What was the joke? What was the line? It was the we were there trying to get the brown M&Ms, and then the shopkeeper comes out with this bloody great Bengal tiger. It isn't pink, it doesn't count. Right. So that was number 1. We also had a 6. Help is found in the strangest of places. What does your enemy help you with? Do they reveal why? +1 piece. Thank goodness. We're back up to +1.
If we have to roll, we might not all die in a war. Well, how about they realize how badly they screwed up by smashing our water barrels?
Yeah.
So they help us fix up a broken water purification device or something.
I think yeah, the water purifier breaks down unexpectedly, obviously. And we, in our altruisticness, go like, well, look, we didn't bring a particularly big present and it's gone now. So why don't we hit you guys up? And we step in, and peace talks are like just put on hold for a day. Like, we'll be back, all right? Let's just make sure we can all fucking drink. Because we need to.
No one can negotiate if we're all dehydrated.
Yeah, I do some of my best thinking while I'm not dehydrated.
I love this. Going back to Hollywood, interview with Hugh Jackman about how he gets the Wolverine body. Basically, you have to dehydrate yourself just enough that you're going to die, but not quite.
Yeah. He's very dehydrated.
Very, like, more than
when he comes up out of the pool going, all veiny.
It's because he's so thirsty.
He's got no drink, no water in him, yeah.
So thirsty. Do not recommend.
They find a who's a what's it for the humidifier. And it's taking longer than normal. It's taking longer, and then they came up with either they have some water shipped out to help while we wait, or they have that piece.
And yes, it's a complicated repair, and they provide a crucial component.
Yeah.
The thingamadoodie.
And it's all done. Everyone's like, here, no, yeah, and yeah, everyone could just have it. No one will charge for anything. It's fine.
Free of charge.
Yeah.
No, nothing's ever truly free. This is them saying, please don't declare war because we got angry and smashed the water barrels.
Yeah.
Sorry.
All right.
See, here's the thing though. It's easy to get humidifiers. What I want is a dehumidifier for when it's really humid.
Yeah.
I just want to suck the frickin' moisture out of the air. Someone hook me up.
Big sponge.
Alright, we need another one.
More dice. More dice.
More rolls.
More 20s in chat, please.
Exclamation mark roll space 20. Make it a good one.
Ellie gets a 12. Oh, shit.
That is the third twist. Oh no, fourth twist.
Fourth twist.
One more twist and we will have to see if we...
We've already had 2 12s as well.
Yeah.
This is twisted twice now. And a 15.
Ooh.
At this point, that's another one.
Oh my goodness.
And a 3. Dragoncore got us a 3 this time.
Well, unfortunately the 15 came first, so...
And what is the village like and the parley takes place at? Which we've also had. This is definitely twisting, friends. And a 6 from the Antipodean D20, which we've also had. This is twisting so hard. Okay. All right.
Okay. So, last, 12?
So we have a +1 on peace.
Yeah.
Great.
The village is what the villagers are thinking. I think the villagers think we're all being very mature about the water situation, given it was nearly like...
They were all terrified as well, because they're like, oh shit, that thing breaks down, we all die. Or at least, you know, everybody goes on quarter rations and it's real sucky for a while.
Water business.
Like, it would be dumb of them to only have one.
Yeah.
But,
being short on water still sucks.
Robbie Hoodie, 13 doesn't help us either. That actually gives us a -1. So
well, we're getting to the point where we were, like,
we're done.
We had to double, anyway.
Yeah.
So villagers are terrified of the water business.
We haven't had a 2, a 4, a 5, a 7, a 9, or a 20. And a 20 would be bloody handy, because that's +2 peace.
Right.
We've had a crit fail, but not a crit success. Interesting. But it's okay. I don't think we will get to the 13 anyway, because we're about to be at the end of the game.
Yes, because that was 15, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Twist 5! So after this one, we have to roll to see if we...
You can roll under 1.
Roll a 1.
1 or
if
below.
If we roll a 1, we get to continue. If we don't, then we go to war.
Yeah.
We just had this bonding moment over the water. Okay, 15. What was 15? At this point, do you truly want peace? Or would you rather have a water excuse to war with the enemy? I think at this point, we're like, we need to make peace. This is just stupid.
This is ridiculous. Well, I think at this point, I actually think it was like, we still want peace, but I don't think it's possible.
Yeah, but
this guy, the
Cartellii are just being
Cartellii are. It's not so much they're being dicks as they don't get it. They demonstrably don't get it. They not only do they not understand us, they don't have any. They're not displaying any interest in getting us. They don't care about getting it.
Don't seem to get us or want to work out. We've reached the point of the game where my handwriting is just getting...
Yeah.
Want to work out how to get us. It's complicated, you guys.
Yeah.
Okay, so this will be the first D6 roll.
All right. Shall I roll it, or shall we have a roll?
Let's not put that on.
Do you want to roll it? Do you want to roll?
So if I roll anything other than a 1?
Don't roll anything other than 1. Okay. Here we go. 1 in 6 chance. Oh! It's a 2. It's a 2, ladies and gents.
Wow!
That's a war.
Shit! I just started a war. I'm sorry.
Never mind. They were being dicks anyway.
They were being dicks. Like, really, wiping them out in glorious bloodshed is really the only option for us.
But I think the war, I think they start it. I think they go back and just say, nah. But we've been so reasonable. The villagers have witnessed us be the reasonable party all the way through.
Yeah.
And the villagers who have more experience with us understand our ways a little bit better and see that, yeah, everything that the city folk have done have been like, fucking dicks. They're just...
War is declared, but the villagers on our side now.
Yeah.
They're like, no, screw these guys. They tried to bribe us with food and shit, but they're just not interested in being reasonable.
They're still neutral, but they very much favor us now. Yeah. I think that's the way it goes.
Sorry for starting a war.
Yeah, it's okay. I think if anything, I would note is, let's go through it. Let's have a look at the actual rules. We've got a -2 there. We've got a +1 there. We've got a -1 there.
+1.
+1.
-1. +1. -1. +1. -1 +1 +2. So it's completely balanced.
It's completely balanced, which means having any plus at all is unusual. You would be expecting bad, which if I had a note on the game...
You almost want to make it slightly skewed?
You want to make it winnable, right?
Well, that means it's relying entirely on you getting the correct dice rolls to bump your P-score up.
Which makes it luck-based.
Yeah, so the odds are completely balanced.
Yeah.
Which is almost annoying.
Yeah, because it makes it not about your negotiation skills.
It's completely fair.
Yeah.
And therefore
not
irritating.
Because actually, you need to be, by the end of it, to have an even... I would say it's not fair. Because to have an even chance, your peace tracker should start at 3.
Yeah. Yeah, you almost need to start with numbers on the dice.
Because the average dice, if everything else is averaged out, and your average dice roll is a 3, well, it's actually 3.5 on a d6, so it needs to start at 3, otherwise it's not fair. That's the only note I would have about it. It's a really good game, it just needs a slight tweak.
Towards war.
Yeah, lots of water in the bodies. No, not fair, because you need to get 3. Exactly, Crystal Crunch. Yeah, you need a 3. So I think the peace tracker should start at 3, with both sides coming along with a degree of will. Which would mean that we actually had a 4, and a 2 was more than enough to end the war. But playing rules as written, we lost. Well, we go to war. But I think we go to war with the village on our side, so fuck you.
Yeah. Like, they're not going to openly be like, we're with those guys. But they're going to be like, oh no, we're going to keep...
As and when we win the war with our superior technology and understanding of tiny baby camels and water.
And our massive supply of Deez nuts.
Which they do not take home to their wife.
Are we just cripplingly immature?
Yes. Well, that was really fun. I like that one. That was... And, very, hey, I've only got an hour. More than enough time, you know? It's not a sit down and spend your evening playing it. But, yeah, I would put a note, and if I do manage... So, weirdly, last week's Foretold, I found them. They play on another member of our stream team's channels. They play on Angry Nerd Girl, Drazillion, Draz, what was her name? Audrey, is a player in Three Flings on Angry Nerd Girl. And I just happened to be watching them because they're in our stream team, and I was just like, oh, nobody else is playing. They're playing. Oh, I know that name. Why do I know that name? They wrote Foretold. So I got in contact, and we've been chatting for the last week. And I said I really liked their game. I didn't initially, but then I came to like it as I understood how the roles could be utilized. Yeah. And she was like, yeah, it's actually more complicated than it looks. And I was like, yeah. This one is almost less complicated than it looks, but I think there's basically one thing. So if I happen to come across Lauren Govednik, I will say, or Govednik, I would say, hey, I think your game needs a little tweak, even just if it starts at 2.
Yeah, because if you get a negative in your first go, do you get minus numbers?
Oh, I imagine it can go below 0. Or that actually could be how it's balanced.
Is it you can't go below 0?
You can't go below 0. But even then, it's not a very good balance.
I'd prefer starting at 3.
Or... you roll for it.
Oh. Oh.
You roll your d6 at the beginning
Yeah.
and see if you can get your piece where you can set your piece tracker.
So yeah, you know from the beginning whether you're more likely, whether you're coming in on the good foot or the bad foot.
And that randomizes, that makes it more interesting.
So there you go. There's options. You can either automatically start in a 3 to make it completely even odds, or you can roll for it and let the dice decide.
Only gay if it's not after a soccer game.
I feel like that was in reference to something we said several minutes ago.
Yeah. Sometimes it's just like...
So, I'm just going to be thinking about that. Like,
Yeah.
what's that about?
Yeah. Well, that was fun and wonderful and lovely. Really good game. Taking the nuts home to the wife. Ah, right. Not taking them. Yeah. Cool. Alrighty. Well, that was fun. Guys, we should probably go and raid somebody else.
Yeah, it's a tight little stream tonight. Because that took us, what, like an hour?
An hour and a half. Yeah, that was good. But I'm not 100% yet. So I reckon just a single run of it, and Keren will be back
Got
tomorrow
a long
morning.
Week. So yes, Meeples and Dragons tomorrow morning,
10
10
a.m.
a.m. Our time, GMT plus 8.
So in
11 and a half hours.
no 10 and a half hours.
Oh yeah. 10 and a
Yeah.
half hours.
10 and a half hours. Whee!
No, because it's 12 hours, and it would have been 12 hours at 8 o'clock.
So 13 and a half hours.
13 hours.
Math good and very well. 13 and a half
Good
hours from now.
storytelling, not math.
Yeah, I'm an athlete, not an athlete.
I'm neither.
Same, actually, same. Yeah. Who are we rating?
Just Google it. 10 a.m. GMT plus 8.
Yeah.
Google it. Find out what time it's going to be at your place. Let's find someone to raid before I say anything else stupid.
Well, Keren, who the absolute heck are you?
Hi, I'm Keren. I am otherwise known as the Mother of Bunnies. You can follow me on Twitter, where I share bunny pictures and rant about stuff. Or you can listen to me in the D&D podcast, Baby Dragons, available where good podcasts can be found. Or you can find me as part of Jasper's Game Day tomorrow morning at that time we discussed. And I'll be back here on Thursday night for Humblewood.
Yes, you will. And Mesdames et Messieurs, Damen und Herren, and beings of indeterminate gender and persuasion, I be Josh the Pirate. You can find me here on my channel, Corso's Cove, which I run with my lovely lady wife, Keren, the Mother of Bunnies. We played TTRPGs and D&D specifically a lot of the time, but not only. We have an every now and again Teens in Space campaign with the lovely Cato Sullivan and a few other wonderful beings. The Lorite, Soteris, and Malika Moon are in that one. And other games every now and again. Keren and I on Monday nights at the moment, we're reviewing some solo TTRPGs, which is super fun. On Thursday night, I will be back with more Humblewood of Monsters and Magic. We are well into over 100 episodes at this point. It's getting really exciting.
So much Humblewood.
There is an awful lot of Humblewood. And on Friday morning, I will be running a game in the Strumblewood Curse of Strahd Humblewood crossover. Take care, John the Dragon. See you, buddy. I will be on Meeples and Dragons on Wednesday. In the afternoon with the NPCDM, and then I will be there again in the morning on Friday with this Strumblewood game, and then in the evening on Saturday in the very, very, very last game of the Jasper's Game Week, which is super exciting. So head on over to Meeples and Dragons for that.
You can donate to cause chaos.
Yes, you can.
Mild Magic Surge or appropriate equivalent thereof.
Yes.
There are other things, but that's always the one that I like. I'm just like...
Wild Magic Surge is great fun.
Make random stuff happen to us.
So we are going to raid the Eldritch Scribe tonight because they are a stream team buddy. So we'll chuck a raid over to them. Des and the gang are playing some D&D. They're playing their long-running, comparably as long as Humblewood actually, Kingslayer's campaign with Raph and AJ and Pretty Paper Stars and someone else as well whose name I cannot recall. But yeah, some lovely folks there. So throw your favorite raid emotes up in chat. Tell them where you came from. Show them the love like we always do. And we'll see you hopefully tomorrow evening for more some Tactics Tuesday. Or Keren sees you in the morning over on Meeples and Dragons. Yay!
Yay!
So say goodbye, Keren.
Goodbye.
Bye. Whee!